Welcome to another episode of Roll or Die. We like to bring you the OGs on this podcast. We also like to bring you the new up-and-comers. So today's guests are just exactly that. They are a new Jiu-Jitsu academy. It's only been open for around 2 months on the New South Wales Central Coast. They are Brian and John, who are the owners of House of Water Jiu-Jitsu in Long Jetty, which is about an hour and 45 minutes from Sydney, and we're really looking forward to getting to know them. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Hey, thanks for having us.
Hey.
Just to welcome, guys, just if anybody's watching, which hopefully some of you are, John is in the brown shirt, Brian is in the white shirt. I've written it down, mate, so I don't get confused as well. So welcome to the podcast, firstly.
John is brown.
Tell us a little. What was that?
I was saying John is brown and Brian is white. That also helps.
Mate, it'll all help, that's for sure. As I said, guys, yeah, let's do that. Welcome to the podcast. Tell us about House of Water. It's 8 weeks or something that you guys have been sort of up and about. So where did it come from? Where did the name come from? And how did you guys sort of start to consider collaborating together and opening this gym?
Yeah, so House of Water, the name actually came from a really good friend of ours, Joel Burnham, just a radical dude. And me and him are both personal trainers, yoga instructors, flexibility coaches. And we were originally going to start a business where we were going to be doing flexibility programs for jiu-jitsu athletes. And then Joel had a baby, and that all just sort of got put to the wayside. And House of Water was the name of that. And Joel actually came up with the name. It was from the Bruce Lee speech that to be like water, that water can flow and water can crash, and that you should be formless and shapeless. And the style of jiu-jitsu that we really like is that, and bringing flexibility into jiu-jitsu to be able to sort of move with freedom of movement, I guess, was sort of the thing. And then once Joel couldn't do that anymore, I'd already got all the designs done, the business name, the thing, the everything. And we always had in the back of our head that maybe one day it would be cool if there was an academy of people that moved nicely. And then, yeah, so just asked Joel, can I run with this? Because me and Bri, the gym that we were training at, our professor owned 2 gyms, and he was considering selling the second one. And we were like, oh man, maybe we could do it. And then we went and met with him. It was a bit out of our price range. And then he got a really good offer, and more money than me or Bri could afford. And so we were like, dude, you got to go for it. To our professor, that's a great deal, you should take it. And then we just sort of sat around, and we hadn't really considered owning a gym before. And then we were like, oh, fuck.
When we missed out on it, it was kind of just we want this now. I guess this is just something we want.
So then we just started just going. We in the suburb that we live in, we were like, all right, it's far enough away from both of our professors' gyms. It's halfway between the two. So we were far enough away that we thought was, respectful. And we just started looking, and no one really wanted a bar of us.
Nah, you're not long term. You're not, yeah, we don't want that. Yeah.
We went to heaps of places, just got knocked back on every single real estate that we tried to find. There's a main road that's probably maybe a kilometer or two of shops, mechanics, retail, warehouses.
And then a high street section.
Even a brothel. Everything was allowed there, but no one wanted no jiu-jitsu there. And then I started cold calling people that owned real estate, just being like, hi, my name's John. I heard you own this building. This is what I'm trying to do. And they were like, cool, you sound nice, but nah, I don't want to do that. We even called one guy and we're like, what if we leased both of your spaces, as in double income for you, and we'll sign as long a lease as you want? And he was like, nah. And we were sick. And then that kept going. And then
You started walking the street.
I would just walk. I would just park my car and walk and just start going into every single shop and just being like, hey, do you own this? And they were like, nah. And then it was like, hey, are you happy with your lease? Because I would take over it if you're not. So we found someone who was their dude had just jacked the rent on them. She'd lost a few of her workers, couldn't really afford it. We were like, sick, we're in, let's do it. We'll take over the lease. We're going to pay out the ass. We might go bust on this one, but let's send it. And then we got all the way through, applied to real estate, heard back from the owner. He was like, nah. And we're like, oh.
No, you go, yeah, you're not long term. Like, yeah. It's like, well, bro, we're trying to take over someone's lease. Like,
we had one guy who was like, oh, is there gonna be a lot of foot traffic? Like, will there be a lot of people coming? We're like, wow, I really hope so. And then he was like, nah, we don't want much people around here. I was like, dude, what do you mean? Like, he just didn't want, I don't know, he just wanted someone who I guess just needed a warehouse space and there'd just be like two of us just, messing around in there. So that kept going. And then eventually on the cold calling, like not an advertised place, but I called a guy and everyone was like, this dude's like super wealthy, just like an older dude on the Senko up here. And he owns heaps of real estate. And I was like, dude, what do you got? He goes, oh, I got some stuff. He took me around next to this like real seedy massage parlor. It was gross. It was like this little clapped out thing in the back alley. It was so bad. And he goes, let me show you this thing out the front. And I was like, oh, I don't know. And then I went and looked at it. It was on the main road. It's only 66 square meters total, the whole place. So like our mat space is only 48 square meters. We tell people it's 50, but it's 48. And
50.
If anyone asks, 50, maybe 51. And we went, he showed me it and I went and stood in it. And then I called Brian. I was like, dude, I've had the vision. And then that's sort of a joke between us that I have ideas that I drag Brian into. I was like, I've had the vision. And then he was like, fuck, the vision. Oh, this means like something's about to happen in my life. So then he came and Bryce saw it. And this guy the place had been like firebombed.
Yeah. It was a tattoo parlor that got firebombed.
Yeah, someone smashed the window, firebombed it. And then he met us and he saw like our tattoos and shit. He was like, he's not a tattooist, are you? We're like, no. Jiu-jitsu. He's like, what's that? I'm like, oh, karate. It was like, cool. So he was like, what do you want to do in here? Like, we're going to knock every single wall out and just put mats on the floor and we're going to roll around on the floor in here. And he was like, if you just want to, okay. And then he's like, you just can pay the rent. And we're like, yeah. And he was like, cool. So there was someone else who wanted it, but they were dragging us to pay their bond. So we just came in, we paid 3 months rent on the spot. To sort of just chip that other person at the line. But it was like, we didn't get any free rent to set up. We didn't get any, like we paid 3 months up front, and then another month in advance. So we were 4 months rent in the hole and paying rent. And then we put a gym together in 30 days. We opened the next month. And then that was 6 full weeks ago. This is start of week 7.
Wow, that's an unbelievable story, guys. I mean, they talk about jiu-jitsu kind of giving you resilience and things like that. But I mean, that's next level what you guys had to go through to get off the ground, yeah?
No wonder like these kids are like they're saying that these kids are becoming like incel terrorists, like with like rejection.
So much rejection.
Dude,
so much rejection.
We just were chasing a dream and just getting rejected every turn.
I remember I called Brian
really funny.
once and I was like, dude, I'm getting hurt.
Yeah, we were talking about this the other day actually, and it was like, back in the day, if you wanted like an area like what you've got, you'd go up to the owner and you're like, yeah, look, I'm pretty keen. Like, if you give me 3 months free rent, to start with, and then, whereas now it's like, it's so different, like you've got to, as you say, you've got to give everything to maybe get a yes and get your feet in the door. So, mate, well done. That's a bloody good start. And now that it's kind of all set up and running, how's it looking? Like, is it busier than the brothel down the road, or what's happening?
Depends on what night.
I reckon we got more cars parked out front than the brothel most nights. Yeah, we're doing good.
That's awesome.
We're doing pretty well. We're like, I think we're probably just past 2/3 of the way to making running costs. So that's like our biggest push. We were really like, in 3 months, can we make this small gym just cover what it costs to exist? Because we are on a main road in a retail space. So we're paying like, it's maybe 4,500 a month, like is rent, right? As opposed to like, we have friends with jiu-jitsu gyms that are paying maybe 2/3 to a half that in industrial spaces. So because of that,
like a lot more square meter too, like
and their gyms are like 200 squares, So we sort of, the people where we are, it's sort of like a bit of arty, boutique-y little, I don't know, where are you guys? What state are you guys in?
We're in Melbourne.
We're in Melbourne.
Okay, so like imagine like a little, I don't know, like a little Fitzroy type thing where you got all those little shops next to each other. We're in one of those. So, and when we were going through, we were like, we wanted to have a bigger gym, and we were like we come from a gym that one of the gyms is 200 squares, the other one's maybe 300 squares, and our professor, like hundreds and hundreds of members and all, like that's what we were sort of used to. So when we were going into places and we were like, we want to rent this place and the place next door and the thing out the back, and we're going to do it, and it just wasn't working. And then, so we eventually were like, all right, like everything in this place is small, hole in the wall type places. What if we did the same thing? And then people were more into that because they were like, oh, that's like the vibe of the strip. They're very like, there's people who've been there for a very, very long time. It's only a few families that own every single bit of real estate there. And they were quite protective of the vibe of the place. So us coming in, we're originally we were considering opening up as a part of like the bigger team that we came from. And then we decided to just go independent, do our own thing, do it small. And people are pretty stoked on it. Like all the people on the street are really happy. Everyone's always waving and saying hey and stopping in and poking their head in and coming to hang out. And like, sort of funny, it's got like 5 massive windows on the corner of the main road. So like, where nothing else like that is going on. So people sort of walk past and just see adults like tumbling around and what's going on in there. Like it's sort of like training in a fishbowl. Yeah.
And have you guys had to adjust your teaching and your class structure because of the size of the mats? Only 50 square meters compared to
we cap our classes at 12.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So we use a booking system. Classes are capped at 12 people, so we can have 6 pairs rolling at a time safely. If we're doing stuff like say last week we're doing mount specific, you probably could have fit 14 or 16 training because you don't move very far. But like a few weeks before that, we're doing wrestle ups from seated guard, and like if you're shooting a double from the floor and then taking someone down, like 12 people safely training is it. So capped classes is new, but we were nervous about that at first. Probably you were more nervous about that than I was.
Yeah, because you've seen it work because you're from like a yoga.
I teach yoga and I'm in studios and I'm used, like everybody that I teach to in that space, capped classes is normal. Booking system is normal. Or like that's all the way that things work. You got to get a spot in the yoga class to go to yoga, right? But jiu-jitsu is not like that. It's just like, you show up if you show up. So I was saying to Bri, like, we're going to do this small. We're around a lot of Pilates and dance studios and stuff like that. Like, we're going to do it small. We're going to do it the same way that they do it. So the people in here are already used to doing that. Like, we can get jiu-jitsu people used to this. Our purple belts and up are a bit slack with booking, but all of our like white belts and stuff who've only ever just started with us, the booking system's great. And we've had quite a positive response. People are like, oh, it's just like 12 people and a black or brown belt. And we're both there every class. So you get a black and a brown belt to 12 people. Like, you got to try pretty hard not to learn in our classes.
And how does that work then going forward? Like, we're not jumping ahead too far, but do you see the booking system, like, could you see that working in a bigger mat space? Let's say, like, you just double it, so now there's room for 24. Would you continue down that path? Like, do you like that system?
I think it would be ideal, like, to ensure like a ratio to coaching and like the rate of learning or like the quality of teaching. So you're not like jeopardizing that. It would be ideal. Like there was a place that we were looking at leasing and we were looking at leasing a space in it. and it was like a squash courts. So like, I imagine
That's what
having
it's
like 4 classes going on like side by side, and it was all capped numbers. So it was like learning pods kind of thing.
And I'm mostly like I'm predominantly coaching and writing our curriculum, and Brian's more on memberships and on desk, and we switch around in that role, but primarily that's what we do. And something that we're really able to do is and our members probably don't know we're doing it, is we curate the classes. Like if we see that some of our teens are booked in and it's maybe only one of the teen girls but 2 of the boys, we start texting people going, hey, what's so-and-so doing? Do you want to come to class tonight? And we make sure that the numbers are even. There's someone good for you to train with. We go, oh, that person's like, we got a big unit coming in. Let's hit up one of the big boys and get him in. So this person's got someone to train with. And we spend a bit of time matchmaking. Sometimes it's a bit funny, like, because we're new gym, we'll have one person booked in and me and Brian like, scramble and just start texting like everybody, like, come to class, come to class, come to class, come to class. And then all of a sudden we've got 6, 8, 10 people in class, and we're able to make some good pairings. And so we do a bit of matchmaking in the background, and that's nice with a booking system because you can see who's coming and who's going to be there, and if those people train well together and all that sort of things. It's probably like it's more effort for us. They just have to click that they're coming.
Yeah, true.
But we put a fair bit of effort into it. Yeah,
it's a great system. I think. I mean, for me, especially as a smaller female, and other smaller people out there, like that's a really good thing. I sometimes wish all gyms could have something like that. And it sounds like you guys, the classes are almost like semi-privates. Then, you've got 2 instructors for 12 people. So you're really getting a lot of attention.
Yeah. So if we have like a intro, for example, I'm coaching, like Brian is either paired up with that person, or if it's like, say, 2 friends that come in, Brian sits next to them the entire hour. And then like every single thing that we're coaching, he is also explaining to them what's going on. Then he sits with them while sparring starts and explains to them what they're looking at when 2 people are rolling. Like you have someone from you walk in the door until when you leave. Like hopefully, like I'm not saying we do this perfectly, but what we're hoping to do when we're onboarding someone is a very personal experience of what's happening. So, and we've actually had some people that come visit with us. Like we really encourage cross training. Like anyone who comes to train with us from the area, we tell them like, don't leave your gym. Just come here once a week. Like I don't want you to. We do black belts can train with us for free, any class once a week, and once a week memberships, so that people who train other places can afford to come and get a class with us, because we do teach a little bit differently to other gyms that are in our area. So people like to come and get a bit of a different class experience in their week. But yeah, for those people, and like I guess I don't know, we're trying to do it different, I guess. But back to the original thing of would it scale if it was big? I don't know, and we're not convinced we want a big gym.
Yeah, that's an interesting thing that's come out of like the first 7 weeks,
because everyone keeps coming in and going, "This is small, it's sick. Don't fuck this up." And we're like, okay, maybe we should like. Do we just close the doors when this hits 70 or 80 members and we don't let it, and we just do a wait list at that point?
It's an idea, as long as it's not, as long as it's doing all right. I think that's ideal.
Next year we'll find out. Yeah, I guess we'll wait and see. John, can you tell us a little bit about your teaching style? Because I've noticed that from what I can see on your social media. How is it different, and what do you guys do?
So we're trying to blend like very specific sparring. I almost feel bad calling it eco stuff because it's existed before anything. It's just hot at the minute, but like whatever. But a mixture of very specific sparring and teaching techniques blended in. So for an example, last week in class, we were looking at options off the gift wrap from mount. So class started with just, this is what a gift wrap is. Can you hold someone in that position? Go. That's the game. Like you win this game if you keep someone pinned within a gift wrap for 20 seconds. And then we go around okay, what just emerged out of that? Oh, people started to try to get out of it. They were turning and showing their back. I'm like, great. That's exactly what I wanted to go into. Gift wrap, like, here is how me and Brian like to take the back off a gift wrap. Okay, cool. Now, next task, try and take the back with a gift wrap. So like everything is like, here is an inspiration for some movement, and then setting people up in tasks where that movement or that problem could occur. And then we move to the next, move to the next. So it's, and sometimes it has to change on the fly. Like we've had a couple of weeks where like me and Brian were like, cool. So we have made a very big effort that whatever we're trying to teach people, to design a game where that thing would emerge on its own. So example, yeah, taking the back from a gift wrap, like we set them up in a way that escaping the gift wrap, people were giving their back. So then that happened. But we have had a few times where like me and Brian will be like, so we're at my place right now at home, and we call it, like, we're in the lab and we're just fucking around with stuff, and we're like, sick, all right, if we do this game, people are going to get this problem, we're going to solve it with this option, then we go. And then we get there and nothing like that happens. And we're like, oh, shit.
Where did we go wrong?
So, but I guess because we're both pretty, like, we're jiu-jitsu nerds, so like it's easy to change on the fly and just go, oh, okay, cool. Like, this is where this is going now, and this is what people need to learn, and this is where it's happening. So it's always like start with a game, and then the problem or the movement that emerges out of that game then will be like, here's some options on how we would let that happen or how we would respond to that emergence of movement, and then let people game again now with some inspiration on how to move. And then we go to the next thing and we just keep repeating that. So I really want people to understand the reason why they are doing it. And I don't think you can show someone the importance of a gift wrap until you've been stuck underneath mount in a gift wrap going, this is hopeless. Like it took 10 seconds of that game for everyone to come around and go, this absolutely sucks. You can't do anything from here. And me and Brian were like, yeah, exactly. So like, now this is why you should try so hard to get to that position. And here's some ways to set it up. And then we just keep going. And we started from open. We were like, all right, people should wrestle up from a seated position. And then once you're on top, you should be we're trying to pass. And then we really believe in, like, for example, I don't know, collecting underhooks whilst you're passing. So you land in mount with unders, or like single or double unders. Then now we've sort of made our way all the way through to what would you do when you're in mount with double unders. And then now that people are starting to turn and move from that position, okay, now how would we attack the back? And then we're going to move to, from there, it would be back escapes, which usually leads you into close guard or half guard. Then from there, you would probably open your guard, start playing open guard. And then when your open guard's not working, you'd start to wrestle up again. So we just want people to like have this. And we found that like our people who've never trained before are actually doing quite well, even though they're in a pretty advanced room. Like, this style of training has been attracting lots of blue, purple, brown belts, even black belts are like, oh, this is cool, because all that we're really interested in is like, hey, this is what happened on Who's Number One last week, or here's what happened at Trials last week, or CJI, or something, like very inspired by the most current meta of movement. I mean, like, always what Rafa Mendes was doing all of the time, but also like what's going on currently. So yeah, I think because of that, like, we're not doing the like, here's the Gracie thing, or here's the like self-defense curriculum that you should learn first, or here's the whatever. It's just like, yeah, this is what Joseph Channon did on the weekend. Let's try it, and let's try to figure this out and see how it can apply to us. And here is what we think is the most high percentage way that you could pin and hopefully submit someone from someone who doesn't know anything to like, now you're mounted on double unders, or someone's belly down and you're on their back. Like, how do we put you in the positions where you have the highest percentage chance of submitting someone, rather than being like, here's an arm bar from close guard? Because to be honest, if you're brand new, an arm bar from close guard is a sick way to get stacked past. Like, it's not, I actually don't think it's the most useful thing to learn. Like, but if you're got someone belly down, flattened out, and then you learn to like rear naked choke them from there, like, it's pretty hard for that to go wrong. So that's the way we've been trying to teach people, like, maybe not the traditional things that you would learn first, but like, here's some stuff that's pretty hard to fuck it up if you can get to these positions of control.
Why do you describe that, John, with the circle of, you know, like, you go open guard, wrestle up, mount, all of those sorts of things. Like, it's awesome, you know. Like, I love that, and it's very, very cool. I think my we'll just call it like ecological, right? So my thoughts on ecological jiu-jitsu is like, I'm not creative, so I'm stupid enough that I just keep doing the same shit over and over and over again, you know? So do you
Fully.
find that sort of thing happens?
Yeah, well, and that's why we're not like maximum, like we're not eco maxing, because we're like, I'm a fucking idiot. I should not be left to my own devices to just I was so lucky that we came from a gym where the level was high. Like, I literally, like, I remember a day, I can remember so the generation before us in the gym we came up in, like Lucas Cannard was there. So we don't, he was never our training partner, but like the dudes who taught us, that was their training partner. So like, I remember one day I asked Lucas a question, like he probably would never remember this, but he was just like, oh, I asked a question about a berimbolo. He was like, show me a berimbolo. He was like, that's absolutely terrible. Everything about it bad. And I was like, okay, great. So we just had people from the start who were like, you know, making it into top 8 rounds at Worlds and this sort of stuff. Like, these guys were very good. So we've had people from the start being like, that's dumb, don't waste your time doing that, that's stupid, that's ridiculous, and saved us like a ton of time. It was very, very brutal. Like, there was some hurt feelings, but if I didn't have them, like, if you left me to just, no, I don't, I just would never have come up with a good solution. Like,
that's the way I feel.
But I also
keep turning and giving my back the whole time.
But I do think, I will say, like, because I can hear Greg Souders screaming at us right now, because I do think there's a little bit of a straw man there, because the dudes that are actually doing eco well, they are designing games that allow the emergence of the correct movement. It's not just me and Brian fuck around until we come up with like that sequence that Rafa Mendes hit on Coutinho at 16, you know, when he's guard passing, he turns, he turtles, he switches, he flips around, spins around the top, catches a triangle, finishes him. Like, it's not that. It's like breaking things all the way down. So the only option that can come out of this is the correct option. And then from there, like, then the next sequence, the next sequence, the next sequence. So it's allowing people to come to the conclusion that you sort of want them to come to, or at least that's my understanding of like dynamic systems theory of movement. So it actually makes it harder for the coach if you do that correctly. Because rather than me just saying like, here's an armbar, I have to somehow design this environment where the conclusion that you come to is an effective way to finish an arm. That is quite challenging. So I think that the way that the ecological approach is being looked at, and it's definitely because most of the eco dudes are assholes. Like, people don't want to listen to them, and they speak in this really pious, better than thou. I don't know. It's like one dude. Yeah, but then you look at all the people in the comments and all the stuff, and they're like, oh, you're like so backwards because like someone taught you a bolo or whatever.
Yeah, I want to see them teach a bolo. Like, I want to see Greg Souders.
Oh, dream of it. I want a eco bolo. Show me it.
Because that's the thing, right? Like, this is an experiment, so like I don't know like how that would occur, like how to force that emergence of movement.
I don't know. I don't think eco is what the jiu-jitsu community, majority of them, think that it is. But I think that's because the people explaining it are so aggressive that you don't listen to their whole explanation of what it is.
So I'm a professional dog trainer.
I do believe
one of the things that we do, one of the things we do in dog training is there's 2 parts, right? There's free shaping, whereas literally like the dog is out there and you just mark whatever it is that your dog is doing that you like. So kind of like playing hot and cold with a kid, right? So that's free shaping. And then there's shaping where you put barriers in place where the dog can't walk out of the area. Maybe you put, cues around where the dog sort of is going to get it right more often than not. And I think when we're talking about like eco jiu-jitsu, it's more along that shaping, like we're putting barriers in place, we're putting rules in place, we're putting things in place where you're not going to go totally off script, and you can't just sort of, if we're working on like the gift wrap, right, then there is really, in so many ways, only one way that you can turn. you know? So like by putting those barriers in place, okay, so now what are the issues? Oh, maybe they put their foot in the wrong place when they're trying to take the back, or the knee's not high enough, right? So it is kind of a, as you say, like if you can make a game of it, then I do think sometimes it can encourage more fun learning, right? And fun learning can often make things permanent. So I like the concept of it for sure.
Yeah, we've found a lot of people, and like you're very sweaty at the end of the first hour. Like I think traditional method, you can often get to the 60-minute mark, and especially if you've been around a minute, you're just chilling. Like you're barely even warmed up for sparring. Like our dudes are drenched in sweat at the end of the first hour because you're in a tiny box, but also because you're working from go. Like the first thing that you do is going to be a game. Like when we were passing, it was like, cool, someone's supine in front of you. You need to split their legs. Like you need to get one of your legs between their knee line and hold it there for 3 seconds. And the person who's on the bottom needs to get both their feet past your body to the outside, like they were going to shoot close guard, K guard, something like that. All right, go. Like that's the thing that you started with. And then immediately everyone's like, it's hard to split the legs. Like, yeah, all right, great. Now here's a method of doing that. So I think that it's cool. It's so much more effort as a coach. I've been coaching jiu-jitsu since blue belt. I have been, like, I started teaching kids and fundies. I have been in the fitness industry for 10 plus years. Yeah, just over 10 years. PTing, teaching yoga, teaching strength and conditioning, teaching all this sort of stuff. It is by far like, it takes me the longest to plan these classes, like, because you'll come up with, when we're doing double unders, we're like, cool, from double unders, you got to set up a gift wrap, go. Okay. Like there was more constraints to it, but for the sake of things, let's just say everybody just laid on the bottom and did this. Just put their arms vertical in the air. So like you couldn't get their wrist and bring it down across their face, which is great for that game. But then if you actually did that, you're immediately going to have someone climb to an S mount and armbar you. So like, then we're like, oh, like it's the kids that actually pointed out the best, because the adults sort of start moving, like actually trying to escape. My teens class will just go, I can win this. And then they'll do that. So then we're like, oh, geez, okay, the constraints are wrong. Like I got to figure this out. So yeah, planning it this way, it is harder for the coach, I think, and I think that's why some people are like, I can't be bothered. I'll just show you how to do it. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think it's fun. But like my wife had a really good point. Like people are paying you for you to teach them jiu-jitsu. So if all you do is eco and someone leaves that class and they get home and they're like, oh, what'd you learn? Like, oh, he's like, we just played this game for an hour. Like if you're seeking out that sort of training, cool. But if you went somewhere to, like, there is a little bit of like, you do have to give someone, like they can go home and like Americana their partner and be like, you know, I learned this or whatever. So I think a hybrid of both because of the product that people are expecting, but also a hybrid of both because just like I just have got so much. I'm someone who just watches jiu-jitsu. Like everything that I do is just watch and consume jiu-jitsu, and like I'll be staring at something and I walk in the gym and then like I'm doing it in a roll. So I learn a lot from watching, or from like one of the black belts who coached me a lot on the come up came and dropped in last week and saw what I was teaching and was like, oh, you tried it this way? And I was like, fuck, that's so much better. Like, and it was just someone showing me something straight away, and I've been doing it all week ever since. To say that like showing someone something isn't effective is like, that's a joke. But to say that the traditional method is like the most fun and interactive way you could be learning, I also don't think it's true. So I think it's just both. Yeah,
it's a valid point.
So on the Central Coast, is Long Jetty is that like a tourist sort of holiday destination, or what is it?
Close. We're one suburb away from a place called The Entrance, and like that's where a lot of people from other places come and holiday there, and Long Jetty and surrounding suburbs. We're like 60 seconds from the beach where our gym is. Lots of like Airbnb, holiday houses, all that.
Manage like drop-ins, are they an option, or no? People will need to still use the booking system.
Yeah, so if someone just hits us in the DMs and they're like, oh, I'm just holidaying here, I want to drop in, it's like, yes, sweet, fill out the like in our system we can use like it's just like scan this QR code and fill it out, sign our waivers, and then just drop in when you get a chance, kind of thing. So that's all done, and then, or I can invoice them prior to their visit before they even come. So
we love drop-ins, but like we love drop-ins and we love cross-training. Like we are a service that is provided to you that like you should be able to enjoy. Even our memberships, it's 14 days notice to cancel. Like you'll get a slightly cheaper rate if you go on a membership, but you can cancel at any time. Like we don't. Like you can be from any academy, you can come from wherever, you can come train with us. You can wear our shit, wear your shit. Like we just ask you to please wear some shorts because we're not into just spats. That's a bit much to be looking at from the bros. But besides that, we're just happy that you're here. And like it's sick. We get to roll with heaps of different people and we don't really feel very like all our members, like we love them heaps, but like if they also trained other places, like we don't have hurt feelings. Like the all of it is great. And we've had a few people come and visit. We had like a dude who's been training for like 22 years come through, and he's still pretty young, like black belt. Yesterday, he was sick. Like he was so awesome. Like it was really cool. Like you know, when Walters comes and drops in and just fucking pumps me in front of my students, love that. That's great. Like all these people that just come and stop in, it's the absolute best. Like yeah, I love it. So we very much encourage it, and we don't really like. If you want to rep us, that's beautiful. Like it's a huge honor for me. But like if you are just here to visit for a day or a week or something, like that's sick. We get to like roll some different shapes and flavors and yeah, it's sick.
I find that like once people like check.
Oh yeah, the way it should be, the way that the good Lord intended, we do both. We just go no gi on Monday, gi on Tuesday, no gi Wednesday, gi on Thursday, no gi on Friday, and the open mat tends to just be no gi. But we like, to be honest, and we're talking to our students right now, they ain't been training in the gi enough. No one's eating their veggies. That's what we keep saying. None of you are eating your veggies. You're just having dessert. Like everybody loves our no-gi classes. And then it's half full in the gi. It's like, I know it's harder. Just get over it. Just train. Don't be soft. Just put the gi on. It like, we just love them both. Like there's no way that we could ever just do one or the other. Like it's the sickest. We train in the gi, you get better at. I find I get better at no gi. I train no gi now. I got all these new looks in the gi. We both came up mostly training in the gi, and at purple belt,
my body just fell apart.
Yeah, I think no gi is kinder on your body, so that's nice. But at purple belt, I went to a camp, one of those like up in Byron, up at the academy, at like Talison's place, and went to a camp up there. And I rolled one day with a guy. We were two purple belts, we're both competitors, and we're like, blah, 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 we're throwing a smoke around, and like people were watching our roll a little bit, and being like, oh, these guys getting after it, that's sick, and we were banging. It was like, I don't know, there was maybe like an advantage in it or something. We both got up just heaving, and we like shook hands. We were like, dude, that was sick. Like that was a mad roll. The next day we rolled no-gi. He subbed me like 10 times in a row. Just heel hooked me 10 times. And I was like, I got in our group chat. I was like, dudes, we are missing half of the shit here. Like we can't be. And I got back, I think we bought the Lockie DVD, and the fucking Danaher legs entered the system and just went. And then COVID hit, and we were just leg locking every day. We were like, we have to learn what this is. And then now, like, it's made everything come full circle. Like we just got better at the other thing because of it. I don't understand the divide. It actually like makes us like, we often laugh at this and joke about it. Like why on earth is there such a big divide? Like all of it's sick.
It's all jiu-jitsu.
Like whatever someone's wearing, you should be able to rumble.
That should just do it all.
It shouldn't.
Awesome.
If it,
I think we've got a catchphrase for our podcast there. That can be a heading. Whatever someone's wearing. Exactly. We're nearly out of time, guys. We've just got a couple of little pop quiz questions here. You can make them as short or as long as you like. So I guess both of you answer. So go for it, Brentos.
All right. I might alternate these, and we'll see how. No, just answer. You can both answer. That's probably easier. All right. iPhone or Samsung?
we'll try to. We both talk too much.
Strength or flexibility?
Flexibility.
Is the answer.
Do you want to know
pull or takedown?
Pull and wrestle up, bro.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier to level change from the ground. I'm tall and lanky. I'll sit down and then I'll shoot it from there.
Yeah, sit down, get it done.
Private instructionals or online instructionals?
Mine, right?
Yeah, our BJJ Fanatics is like one of our. We'd have to list that asset on the home insurance. Like we froth instructionals.
Yeah. They got some tech.
Thank-
We want it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Nice. All right, John, what's your favourite belt that you've been at?
Man, late blue into purple. We like had 2 mat spaces at the gym we came up in, and the professor would let us go upstairs and just drill and drill and drill. And like it was me, Bri, my wife, Leash. There was a brown belt who was maybe 5 or 10 years older than us, Rach, and she was so fucking good. She taught me how to play like collar spider and all this. We just learned so many things. And then that was when we started getting into like learning leg locks and all that sort of stuff too. And we were like not working a lot. We just go to Guzman Gomez every fucking day and we would just train every morning, and it was the sickest.
Yeah.
And like when I think about it, like
I call in sick to just do it 2-a-days.
one of our mates, I'm pretty sure, lost his business at that time because we were just training, just being mat rats. And I could cry if I talked about that time long enough. It was sick. And then like
question, bro?
Besides that, since getting my black,
that period in jiu-jitsu, like that, like blue belt, like for me when John was getting his purple and stuff like that, that was just like that love for the sport was formed then, I guess. And like the camaraderie that we built around it. And that's just, we've always just been chasing that dragon, I think.
There was a time when we did a quintet at blue belt. Yeah. And we all traveled together and we did that up in Yamba and stuff. And that was like, from then onwards, we were just we live on top of each other now. It was sick.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right, I've got 2 more questions, mate.
So yeah, I'd say that.
Both of you. Here we go. Can you both drive a manual car?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Of course.
Legend.
Yeah.
Of course.
Legend.
Yeah, we can rip burnout.
And then the last one.
You can
this
drive
question-
a heavy.
I can drive a forklift. What do you need?
What do you need?
Not at all.
Back up a trailer.
Yeah, bro.
And then this question will decide if we put this podcast out or not, boys. Do you wear Crocs?
Ooh,
I do.
I do too.
Oh, well, it's been nice
But I
chatting.
will say, I was wearing Crocs when you used to get roasted. Crocs.
All right, we won't be.
Shit, the equipment wasn't on, turned off.
No, they I didn't realize they were so comfy. I was talking the most shit on them for so long, and then I was like, "This is a very versatile shoe."
In my old band, like pre-jiu-jitsu, I've done like tours, Europe, US, everything, just Crocs. When everyone was still roasting, it was just me and kids that wore Crocs. And then trendy Crocs came in, and I was like, "Oh, nah, you don't get to just wear Crocs for free, bro. You gotta cop some shit for this." Yeah.
You haven't been through it.
Yeah.
You guys are pretty cool.
No, we fucked heavy with Crocs,
so
for real.
I think we can forgive you for the Crocs, and we will be releasing this
Dude,
episode.
Crocs House of Water collab. Oof, put Crocs on us, bro.
Anyone listening, if you're ever in the Central Coast around the Long Jetty area, please do pop into House of Water. It sounds like an amazing place to visit. You'll get a lot of attention, very interesting style of teaching, and we are very, very happy that you guys made the time for spending this episode with us. We love to, as we said, get to know some of the OGs of the sport, but also people like you guys that are coming up. It's been amazing. Thank you so much for your contribution to Jiu-Jitsu. Brent, you want to do the wrap-up?
Yeah, thanks, John. Thanks, Brian, for jumping on, mate. It's been really cool to get to know you, hear about a little bit of, setting a gym up, because I think some people who, consider setting a gym up might not know, some steps on the path to do that. So it's been awesome to, hear that you guys went through the battle and came out the other side and have an awesome space now for people and for yourselves to, get some mat time. And as you're sort of saying, go through working in the lab. So all the best, mate. Continuous success for both of you. To everybody else, thank you for listening. We appreciate you guys, as you know. I'm sure this was a fun podcast for everyone out there. So tell your friends about it, like, rate, and share as always. And we will see you all on the next episode of Roll or Die. Peace out.